Black history. Black history. What is your history? Colors: black, brown, white, red, and yellow. Humans come in all shades. A question that continues to leave me confused is, why are we still dividing by culture when every culture has a history with people of all colors in it? For example, the continent of Africa. Each region of Africa has its own unique history that includes more than Africans. Without going too deep into detail, European countries like Italy, Germany, Great Britain, and France have so much of an impact that some African countries speak that European language. This leads to my point. Why do we split up our culture as the human race by color when every culture has people of all shades in it? A lot of black Americans are not descendants of North American slavery. Black history isn't conducive just to West African countries where North American slaves came from, and black history is in every country. First, we don't call Irish, German, Italian Americans European Americans. We don't combine each European country's history as one, so blacks should receive the same cultural respect as whites. African Americans are categorized and attached to a continent most of them are not from. They are described as black when the majority of them are in fact brown. To clarify, a good number of people who identify as black in America today are not even descendants of American slavery. How many of these 10.7 million Africans were shipped directly to North America? Only about 388,000. That's right, a tiny percentage. In simple terms, comparing that number to the population of a state like Florida shows that black Americans of today come from foreign countries and not just North American slavery. To put things in perspective, to stereotype someone by their skin color is blasphemy. Not all black people come from the same culture, and not all cultures come from the same blacks. Secondly, does being a descendant of slavery automatically make someone blacker? With background information on how many slaves were involved in North American slavery, it would make sense to wonder if one is a descendant of it. Questioning everything being taught about American slavery from grade school to now. The black American population of today. Foreigners from all over come to America, into respective communities that make them who they are. They even share similarities. The arrival of new immigrants from Africa, the Caribbean, and elsewhere have been an impact contributor and have been an important contributor to black population growth. In 2022, there were 5.1 million black immigrants in the US, up from 2.4 million in 2000. According to our analysis of Census Bureau data, this quote expresses the multiple cultures that now make up the population of black America, and not just the specific West African countries which colonizers stole them from. To make it more clear, black history isn't just tied to West African countries where slaves came from to North America. The history of black people is a continuously unfolding, confusing, and rich history. Where do blacks come from? The history is everywhere. The answer is everywhere. Black history is in every country and forever will be if we continue to talk about it. Dr. Rebecca Feudo Kennedy tells the unfolding history of Hannibal the Great, an African who ruled in Italy. Is he Phoenicia, Berber, whatever that means? Is he African? He's African. This quote describes how the history of an African conqueror whose history is not being taught in schools to blacks. Race is being confused and deleted due to ignorance. You rarely hear about anything about blacks in Europe, especially in Ireland. The original phenotypes of Irish people are black. Were black. The hunter-gatherer population that lived in Ireland 10,000 years ago did not have any of the pigmentation profiles associated with light skin. With this information being presented to a black person, they might be in disbelief or find it confusing. The idea of Europeans having dark skin alone could be hard to believe, but the Irish having dark skin and blue eyes and it is an interesting fact about black people. Lastly, black history even is in Mexico. The so-called Muskogees, a binational migrant people, also known as Black Seminoles, is a mixture of Florida's Muskogee or Creek Indians and African Maroons who fled from slavery in the United States. This quote goes to further give evidence that black Americans are far more than a color, destination, and that we come from everywhere. All in all, a lot of black Americans are not descendants of North American slavery like schools are teaching, and black history isn't just about West Africa. Black history is everywhere in every country and can't be defined by color because a lot of black Americans are not descendants of North American slavery. Black history didn't start and won't end in specific West African countries, and black history is in every country.